In this video, I will be analyzing Death is Nothing at All by Henry Scott Holland and You As Well Must Die, Beloved Dust by Edna St. Vincent Millay. I will be analyzing connotation/denotation, tone/mood, and author background. I will first analyze Henry Scott Holland's poem. Henry Scott Holland was a professor at Oxford University. However, for the purpose of analyzing, it is only really important that we acknowledge the fact that he was a priest at Christ Church in Oxford. Because he was a priest at Christ Church in Oxford, it is very obvious that he is alluding to heaven. The next room being heaven, because the poem is written from the perspective of a dead person, and the next place to go after death is either heaven or hell. And heaven being somewhere very near, just around the corner, because it is only a brief moment away. Finally, when we meet again, being heaven because someone will die and go to heaven and visit him. All of this is certain because he's a priest. For example, say the author of this poem wasn't known. All of these things could mean the grave. But because it is known that it is written by Holland and his background is known as a very religious man, we can be positive that it is alluding to heaven. Connotation and mood go hand in hand. Connotation affects the mood of the piece. The mood of the piece that you want to achieve dictates the diction of the piece to words with a certain connotation. Holland uses phrases with carefree and warm connotations to create the tone, which helps the reader feel that death is in fact nothing at all. Familiar, enjoyed, easy way, without effort. He uses these words because they have a very carefree and warm connotation, while as if he used words such as unfamiliar, hated, hard way, difficult, the poem wouldn't feel the way he wanted it to feel. The feel of the poem is very important, because that is what defines the point of the poem. The point of the poem is to tell the reader that death is nothing at all. No problem. However, if it was very serious, then with the title being Death is Nothing at All, the readers would take it as if it was a joke. I will now analyze Millay's poem. When analyzing a poem, having background information about the author is helpful. It allows you to interpret the poem properly through the eyes of the writer, especially with a poem like And You As Well Must Die, Beloved Dust, which at first glance seems unfocused. Knowing Millay's past pacifism during World War I, it is evident that the poem is about death and wars and how it is pointless. In the poem, the body of flame and the leaves represent soldiers. The elements symbolize war and how it kills the soldiers. Connotation in And You As Well Must Die, Beloved Dust sobers up the reader. The words have a serious connotation with them, many of them dealing with absolutes and permanency. Words such as flawless, perfect, and disintegrated are used, which are absolute and permanent, just like the motif of this poem, death. The tone of this poem is hopelessness. Even though they're flawless, vital, and perfect, they will die. She uses phrases like, in spite of all my love. The tone is important because it helps to sober up the reader. Otherwise, the poem would have not been taken seriously, which would defeat the whole purpose of her writing the poem, as she wrote this to convince people that war was pointless. Both Holland and Millay wrote poems with the same motif. However, by using words with different connotations, having different tone, and having different backgrounds, they were able to create two totally different poems. Holland sees death as a part of life and acknowledges it joyfully. Millay sees deaths from war as pointless. Two totally different points about the same motif, possible thanks to the power of tone and connotation.